Hi, welcome back. In this video now, we're gonna start getting rid of that negative self-talk. We're gonna discuss a little bit more about the negative and positive aspects of ego and how you can make them more tangible, how they can work for you. But first, let's get rid of some of this negative self-talk, shall we? Here's one of the easy things that you can do. First, if you catch yourself with a negative statement, flip it around to a positive one. So if it is, I'm unworthy, simple enough, I am worthy. I am worthy. And own it. Here's the thing, when we are stating something like an affirmation, a mantra, we can intellectualize them by having them in the head, up in the mind. I'm going to ask you to pull it down into your being. And oftentimes when I'm doing this, I'll place one or both hands, for those familiar with the chakra system at the solar plexus, but anywhere on your being. And then stating it, I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. So what you're doing is you're flipping the negative over to the positive. And I'm not going to say that this happens miraculously overnight, but it's a start. You catch yourself with a negative statement, flip it over to the positive one. If it is, I'm not good enough. Again, I'm one of those people, it drives me crazy. I'm not good enough. When we flip that to the positive, being I am good enough, X out the enough, put a period at the end of good. So you have, I am good, period. I am good. You are good. You are good. I'm not lovable. I am lovable. I am loving. I am lovable. I am loved. I am love. Shift it over to the positive. And if you're saying, I don't know if I'm worthy, people haven't loved me in my life, I'm going to ask for you to really think about that. As we've discussed, is this true? Is it true? Because if you have friends and family around you now who love you, but maybe you just haven't found the right partner for you, then your friends and family members already show you are lovable. You may not have been successful to date in the relationship department, but I gotta tell you, a lot of us aren't. And honestly, the more we feel confident in our own skin, the more that we get rid of those heavy, low-level statements of not being good enough, not deserving, I'm not lovable. The more we erase those, get those out, release them, whatever it is, the lighter that we feel, the brighter that we are. And you may find yourself attracting the person that you've been seeking. And here's the thing, as a little side note too, with relationships, if we're asking for a healthy relationship, but we ourselves are not healthy, then is that really what we're looking for? Because we know that nobody else can save us. We're here to save ourselves. The voice that you need, the comfort, the compassion, the forgiveness, whatever it is that you need, be that for you. And as you heal, as you grow, as you evolve, as you become healthier, you're going to be attracting that healthier person. It's beautiful. Okay, so that's one of the things you can do is take the negative, switch it over to a positive. Here's another little side note. Avoid words with ing. In other words, I'm never going to be good at this job. You may change that over to, I am working on being good at this job. Working on is an ing. It's in process, right? Just stop. You know what? I am good at my job. I am good at my job. And if you're not happy there, then this is where you trust yourself. I find employment that is best for me. Because when we're talking about affirmations, we want to say them as though they've already happened, and that way we can start creating one's reality. And again, I'm not going to say this is going to happen overnight, but we want to feel it besides just intellectualizing it, but getting that energy out there. Because if I'm saying I'm trying to do better at my job, the trying tells me I'm still back here somewhere. Until maybe you get to the point where you say, I'm good at my job. I'm good at my job. Or if it's, I'm never going to apply for these other positions because I'm not qualified. If you're really not qualified, then you work on getting qualified. But if you are, but the truth of the matter is you're afraid of rejection, I get that. But the truth of the matter too is, as long as you never reject yourself, you can never truly be rejected. And it may be that it takes those 3, 4, 15 resumes, while the other job that is meant for you, maybe they have the employee that you're going to be taking their spot is still winding their way out of that particular company. Trust in yourself, trust in the universe, the powers that be, that it's coming for you. So if you're qualified, send out the resume. And then if you get a call back, if you're like, oh, I'm never going to get this job, they're going to see right through me. Stop. Don't let your negative self-dialogue that somebody else gave you a long time ago keep you from living your life. This is a good time to talk about when to bring the ego forward. So, the ego, part of our personality. I see it as though we have a negative aspect of ego, a negative aspect and a positive aspect, besides our own higher mind. With the negative aspect of ego, for me, I feel like I hear it when I hear that you're not good enough. You don't deserve that. Who do you think you are to think you can do this? Where did this come from? Whoever told me I'm not good enough for this, that I don't deserve to have a good life. Because it isn't true. Knowingly or unknowingly, they gave me a falsity. They lied to me, again, almost always not purposefully. But it's still, if it's not true, it's a lie, it's false. So you get to choose, okay, so you can let your ego know, okay, listen, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, but ego, it just isn't true. And oftentimes when I engage with the ego like this, sometimes I'll see it like a child really trying to get my attention. And here's the thing, if we keep pushing ego aside because we don't want to hear it or see it or experience it, and we shove it and we shove it and we shove it to the side, some point it's going to get loud enough to really get our attention. So I would prefer to just call it forward and just, okay, what's going on when I have a moment, because if I'm busy, whatever, may take me till I'm going to bed or maybe even a couple days later to be like, okay, ego, what have you been trying to tell me? And really, in essence, what I'm doing is I'm honoring myself in this moment because I am stopping and giving attention to me about something that's been nudging me, something that's just been needling me, that there's something off. And then I can address it with ego. So we can do that, and then oftentimes for me, that'll help to quiet it down. Also, when we quiet down the ego, this is where the positive ego can come in, which is the positive self-dialogue, right? So if the negative self-dialogue is you're not good enough, you'll never amount to anything, you're never going to find peace in life, and the positive aspect of ego is, yes, you can. Peace is within you. Let me help show you. Of course you're a good person. Look at all the people that you've helped. You're beautiful. You've got a beautiful soul. So we get to stretch out the positive aspects of the ego. Make room for it so we can hear it more. Because positive attitude or aspects of ego don't tend to be as loud and obnoxious as the negative. So it's not uncommon for the ego to be louder than one's own spirit. Because your spirit knows. Your spirit knows what the truth is, who you really are. It doesn't have to fight. It doesn't have to degrade or name call. It just is. It's that beautiful place that is within you. But the negative aspect, ego, that's why I see it like a little child just tugging at me all the time. So when we can recognize it, allow it to calm down, we make room for the positive, and then now that's what we're operating from, the positive aspects of ego. So we can shift our internal dialogue by taking the negative statement, turning it into a positive. We can speak with the negative aspect ego, so it'll be quieter, so we can listen to the positive aspect ego. Here are some of their tools. One of the things I like to do is if I've got internal something unhealthy batting around between my ears, one of the things I'll do is I'll reach in to see if I can recognize the source. I'll go in and I'll just imagine pulling those words right out of my head, out of my ears, and I'll just get rid of them. Keep pulling them. Now there are sometimes I feel like somebody else's thoughts, words, opinions, judgments, ideas are caught in my throat, in which case I'll sense like how deep is it, and I'll build up my breath underneath of it so that when I exhale, I can force that energy out of my airways. So I'm breathing in and then getting it out. So if somebody else's words are still caught in my throat that I'm not good enough, somebody said you're this or you're that, exhale it. Sometimes I'll do the deep breath and I'll build up the energy, pull it up, and then I'll go to the center of my mind, and as I exhale, I'm pushing it out of my ears. There are other times where I will swoop around my head and pull it up and out from the top of my head, the crown chakra. Your mind and body know what to do. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. It knows. And in fact, it knows more than anybody else on this earth does. Nobody knows your spirit like you do. It knows you like nobody else ever could. Listen to it. So allow it to guide you. Use the visualizations, use the breath work. Get it out of your mind. And if you've gone in and you've breathed in to find out where you're carrying it in the body, you can scoop it out. You can, again, breathe into that place. Use your breath to exhale it from your body. You have the power. You've had it all this time. So now you're becoming consciously aware of it. You get to do something about it if you choose to. So how can we use then the positive aspects of ego in our lives? Think about how much lighter you'll be when you have reduced by a great number the negative self-talk in your mind. The lighter you're going to be for yourself, for your family, your work environment. It feels really good. You may find that you are looking for a healthier relationship, or a job that, a career that is going to pay you better because you deserve it. Or a job where you can work less hours because you really want to spend time with your family. You deserve those things. The peace within your mind, your body, your soul. They're available to you. It's out there for you to receive. And even as I'm saying that, I like to go into surrender position when I'm getting overwhelmed with something. And when I first started to do this, just surrendering it, whether you believe in God, the universe, a higher power, whatever it may be for you. So as I release, as I surrender, I noticed how open my arms and hands were. Just naturally, my hands opened up with it. And it dawned on me I'm now also in the receiving position, which means I've let go of whatever this is, I've surrendered it. And now I'm open to receive all those beautiful things that I do deserve, that I am worthy of. So surrender and receive. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to do is walk you through how you can name, if you choose, how you can name your ego, both the negative and the positive aspects. Now, some people will be like, you can't do that. You're giving too much power to the ego. And if you feel that way, don't do it. But what I came to realize, and for a lot of people that I've helped with my clients and group members, it's helpful. Because the truth of the matter is, ego is part of us, whether somebody likes it or not. It's still part of us. So if I'm trying to pretend like it doesn't exist, or I try to just squelch it, and I'm literally doing that to a part of myself. Because as long as I'm here as Tish, my ego's with me. I can reduce its effects by things that we've already discussed, by talking to it, by shifting over into the positive energy. So do what feels right always. Trust yourself. But here's what I do, and this has helped me a lot. This has helped me in my personal life. This has also helped me professionally. When I'm working with new Reiki practitioners, because I also teach Reiki, It isn't uncommon for new students to feel like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Can I really do this? Who am I to do this? Can I really help affect somebody else's healing? And we get all these judgments. We're questioning and doubting of ourselves. Yes, one is. So when we can learn to acknowledge ego and then set it aside, it's really helpful. And this isn't about trying to shove it down and pretending as though it doesn't exist. We are taking control over ego. So let me show you. This is a way in which to make your ego more tangible instead of so abstract, so that you may find it's easier to work with. So if you would, take a moment, close your eyes. Take a couple nice deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just allow your body to relax. And by doing this, it just helps the mind and body to become more quiet and still. So now I'm going to ask for you to ask yourself, what does my negative aspect ego look like? And allow whatever visuals come to mind, whatever images. What does it look like to you? And if you got an image and you're like, that's just kind of stupid, that doesn't feel right, because that's part of ego too. Trust what you're getting unless it's really uncomfortable for you. You were shown this image for a reason. All right, so what does your negative aspect ego look like? It may feel a masculine, a feminine, or it may be an object. All of us are different. We perceive things differently. But once you can imagine your negative aspect ego in your mind's eye, pause as you're looking at it and now ask, what is its name? What comes to mind? What do you hear? What comes to mind for you? So this is a way in which you can begin to engage with the negative aspect ego. My negative aspect ego's name is Edgar. First thing that popped up, I just accept it. So I bring Edgar over and I ask Edgar, okay, you know what? I'm feeling uncomfortable after this person walked in. If I'm at a party, I'm not gonna do it at a party, right? But later when I get home or within a couple of days, like, how come I was upset when I walked in and they were confident? I felt you then, it didn't feel good. So what are you trying to tell me? And then this is where ego may be saying to me, because you aren't confident. Now, really in that response back, really I see that more as the positive aspect ego or my spirit mind talking to me. But you may see it as your actual negative ego just sharing with you because you're asking, because the ego and the negative and positive aspects of ego are so attached. So however you perceive that, but it's the asking. It's just being still for a moment. Asking so you can get an answer. Because how often do we ask ourselves questions and we never stop long enough to get the answer? Like, why did I do that? And then we just keep going on about our way. So to stop being like, yeah, why did I do that? So you can ask negative aspect ego. Why? Listen to the response. Okay, so thank you for the information. And then for me, I just imagine sliding Edgar over. Another way in which I call Edgar in, before I have a session, before I go into class, especially if I'm feeling a little wonky with my solar plexus, if I'm feeling like ego's a little too attached. What I will do, I tend to take a deep breath with it. Yeah. And then I see ego standing before me, and I will say to Edgar, my ego, okay, Edgar, I need you to step outside the door, stay out there for a while, just keep yourself busy. And I will do a separation. Sometimes there's someone that I know that she sees ego as a ball with like an eye or eyes on them. She would take her ego, place it in a box, and then another box and another box, and then wrap it up and send it out. Your mind knows what to do. This is what I mean. You have this brilliant mind, use it, right? Ask your ego to step outside for a while. Now, the ego isn't gone forever. I've had some people put them on a rocket ship, blast them off to space. Ego's coming back. But this is a temporary measure to where we can stand back within the positive aspects of ego, stand inside our own truth, our own strength of being. So that's what we can operate from, giving the negative aspect ego a little break. All right, and then we get to bring the positive aspect in. So I like to cleanse and reset this way. So when you're ready, take a couple more nice deep breaths. We're gonna just reset here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just allow your mind and your body to become more quiet and still. And then when you're ready, ask to see. I want to see a representation of my positive aspect of ego. What does your positive aspect ego look like? And then ask, what's its name? And then once you have this image and a name with it, then at any time you can call upon your positive aspect ego to come forward. Hey, help me talk to my negative aspect ego. What can I do positive aspect so I can get out of the energy, that lower level energy of negative dialogue? I'm not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy. How can I shift over? And allow the positive aspects of you. I don't have to know you to know that there are many. I would bet that the overwhelming majority of people watching this video have given so much love to other people. You've gone out of your way to help others. You've been compassionate, non-judgmental. I'm asking you to do that for yourself. Tap into the positive aspect of internal dialogue and that positive aspect of ego, because that is more representative of your true, beautiful self. And I want to double back a moment to where if you're feeling like I'm unlovable, I don't deserve love. So if you have been a faucet, an outpouring of love to your family members, to your friends, to your coworkers, you get to turn that flow of energy around for yourself, because you do deserve it. And if you were to tap into that flow of love going externally to your family, your friends, and then turning it around to feel how powerful your love is. How can you not be lovable when you have this incredible element, this energy just flowing through and from you? Now, sometimes we get to a point in life where it's turning down the faucet, right? Because we could become depleted. And it's not that we have lost love, because the same flow, I firmly believe, is through you. It's just energy may be blocked because we may get to a point where we want to be more selfish with it and not give it to others. But here's the thing. You go inside, you get into the positive aspect of ego, shift into the positive dialogue where you can tap into that love energy, and you may find that it flows out even more, and where you can feel it even more for your own being, because you are loved. You are lovable. And wait a minute, let's think about that too. If your family, even if you only have one family member who loves you, you're loved. If you have one friend who loves you, you are loved. So, I have a feeling most of you have multiple people. So if it's with their friends or family, they're still telling you that you are lovable, that you are loved. You can take that with you to move forward if it's the more of an intimate relationship that you seek. You are lovable. You are loved. You are loving. and you are love. Okay, those are the beautiful aspects of positive self-talk and positive ego. Thank you so much for watching this video series. I hope to help to shed some kind of light into your own mind and your own heart, your being, about where you're holding on to the negativity. Because again, when we release it, we scoop it out, right? So maybe you feel it in your knees, scoop it out. That's not mine. I lovingly release it. Oh, when I tell myself I'm unworthy, I may feel it gutturally. Scoop it, pull it out, breathe in, push it out with your breath. Whatever it is for you, get it out of your being, because it's a lie. It doesn't belong there. Get back to the true essence of you, the beauty of you. Shine, baby, shine. Okay, thank you. Hopefully, as I said, this helped to illuminate things for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I wish you all the best on your journey ahead. Until next time, be well and namaste. Get rid of those old beliefs holding you back. Check the description box below for a free PDF on how to break free of limiting beliefs.